Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I am basically going to be doing a few different things because I have this local market art vendor type of thing that I need to go to and I need to create art for it. However, I also need to film a video. So I'm feeding two birds with one hand because we don't support animal cruelty here. And I'm basically going to be making a video of me making the products for this art show. So I kind of don't really know what I'm doing, but the sort of main ideas I have for selling are making pins because I haven't really posted about it on my channel, but a bit of a hobby of making pin back pins. I'll put some up here. I'm going to be making some gouache paintings and framing them because that's fairly simple. I might be making some acrylic paintings on canvas. That's pretty much it, so let's get into it. Okay, so it turns out I only have two LE size frames, which sucks because that means that either I'm gonna have to sell my art without frames or I'm gonna have to go out and buy some more. So anyways, I have these two frames which I'll use for gouache paintings, and then I'll probably just have to sell gouache paintings individually. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably sell the ones that are framed for like 10 bucks, and then I'll sell the individual ones for like 5 maybe. To be honest, I don't even know if I'm gonna make much money from this just because I don't know if I'm really gonna sell my art, and I also don't know how to properly price things to make a profit. But yeah, let's do something. Let's do art, or at least try to. Okay, so like always, I've got Pinterest open, and I have like an album specifically for painting, so I'm just gonna quickly scroll through there, see if there's any ideas I like, and if there isn't anything there that I really care for, then I will just search through other Pinterest or whatever. See, I'll probably end up doing something like this because this is super easy and simple, but it looks nice. Oh, so when I was younger, I used to do these acrylic pour paintings all the time. So what I might actually do is I might make a bunch of canvases of the acrylic pour because that's super easy to do, and plus I have quite a few canvases that already have paint on them, but I don't really want to go through the effort of I don't know, trying to cover up that paint. But this would make, okay, sorry, I'm so scatterbrained, but I think, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have acrylic pours, gouache, and pins. I think that's gonna be my collection. Oh, and Polaroids. I don't know if I'm gonna do too many Polaroids because I don't have a lot of film left, and I want to save some for gifts because I love, wait, oh my god. This is, I need a script. I need a script for my videos. This is so scatterbrained, but I'll be back. Okay, so I have this little Instax printer where basically I can print off any photo I want on my phone off of this, and it just comes out like a Polaroid, but it's printed. I'm going to be taking some of my digital art and printing it off, just that way I can share off my digital art and I don't have to put in the effort of creating new pieces. I just have to print it. Because I would do actual prints, but honestly, I don't have the time to get them printed off properly, so it's not really an option. Yeah, okay, so I should probably actually get started, so I'm probably gonna put Netflix, get started, and then yeah, you guys can just come along with the journey, I guess.
Yeah, so you know how I said that I was actually going to get started on painting? Well, I proceeded to not do that. I found something to watch on Netflix and proceeded to scroll for 20 minutes just to find some references. Oh my god. So anyways, I continued to not paint, and then one of the worst case scenarios ended up happening. Y'all, I think I'm gonna cry. I don't know what happened, but there's mold growing in my hemi gouache. So I'm gonna have to throw it out. God, man, this was literally my favorite art supply. You don't understand how genuinely upset I am. God, this is, and it's not even a little bit. This is disgusting. Okay, so the mold situation has been dealt with, and basically after watching some videos, what I did is I threw out the parts that had been infected with mold, which thankfully were only 2 compartments, and then I just went through and mixed everything and went through with some alcohol and cleaned up everything, sanitized it. And now I know from moving forward, either I have to let my paint dry fully before putting it away, or if I do leave it wet while I put it away, I have to check up on it every day or 2 and mix it and rehydrate it to prevent mold from growing, because it's not fun to throw away your expensive paint because there's mold. I just remember I grabbed it and I opened it and I thought it smelled kind of funny, and I look, and this area was pretty moldy. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. And I look over and the one little blue capsule completely covered, as you guys would have seen in the video. But yeah, that was upsetting. I've spent the last hour trying to deal with this, which sucks because I could have used that time to get at least 2 paintings out, but whatever. Lesson learned. At least I dealt with it when I only had to throw out 2 instead of when I had to throw out the whole thing, right? So anyways, I have to go now. I can't make my art because basically, like, I'm very busy today, so I have, like, homework to do and whatnot. Hopefully, after I do with that stuff, I can come back and get some stuff done. Because ideally, I would actually like to be productive. So yeah, that's just the update, and I'll see you guys at some point.
Okay, I'm back, and I may have gotten distracted, and by distracted, I mean I sat on Instagram Reels for 2 hours, but I'm gonna get something done. Oh my god, I'm so behind. It's okay. It's fine. So, I'm basically gonna try and do my little gouache paintings now that my gouache kit is no longer covered in mold. Okay, I need to take a breather for a moment here. Honestly, I need to stop procrastinating because I have so much to do and I literally just sat on Instagram for like 2 hours, but anyway, it's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some gouache paintings, and also my mother went out and bought me some frames today, so now I have 6 frames instead of 2, so that is nice. Yeah, I'll probably have, I don't know, this painting takes a lot of time, and I already have to do 6 that are framed, and I want to do a bunch that aren't framed. I don't know, maybe like 15. Oh my god, am I gonna make 15 paintings? Okay, you know what, I'm just gonna get painting and stop talking.
Thankfully, I did just that. I quickly hopped on, chose something to watch, and then I just found some random references that I used to paint. So for this one, I just put a quick layer of purple gouache all over the whole thing, and then just slowly I'm going to go through and add more and more colors. For the first couple of paintings, I did the sort of like in the corner kind of technique. Well, not technique, but I did that for the formatting, but it ended up wasting quite a bit of paper. So moving forward, I end up using up the paper to make 2 paintings just to, you know, save paper. So if anyone's curious as to what on earth is going on my screen right now, I'm just watching this like compilation of different art TikToks. I'll leave the link to the video down below. And now I've switched to the Try Guys, so that's lovely. Pretty much it for the first painting, so now we can move on to the second one. You can see I've already got a base down with this light blue color, and I've also taped off the area to also hopefully save some paper, because then that extra stuff I can use for something moving forward. But yeah, I'm doing this sort of like cloud type of painting this time. You can sort of see my reference on the screen, but it is kind of blurry, but same as the last one, it's just like trial and error, just slowly adding more and more until I get a piece that I'm happy with. And I actually ended up running out of storage halfway through, so this is about all you guys get to see of the process of this painting, but then I do some attempts at satisfying tape removals, but it doesn't work. It's really not that satisfying, but I tried. Yeah, when I filmed that, I thought it'd be a lot more interesting, but it wasn't, so oh well. But I ended up painting another little gouache painting that I also didn't film, but this is because I forgot. So I'm now getting started on the 4th painting, I believe, of this video. So the one I'm working on right now, it's pretty simple. It's just this cute little like rainbow one. I didn't want to go all out for all of them because I didn't have all the time. So yeah, I just did a rainbow and some clouds and also some stars. And the one that you guys didn't get to see the process of, it's also kind of simple. It's just like a sunrise or sunset with a red sky and some little birds and tree silhouettes. That's pretty much it for the gouache painting section of this video. I did go on to make quite a few more paintings, which I'll show you guys at the end of this video, but now it's time to move on to a different project.
Hey everyone, so the next couple of like artworks pieces I'm going to be working on are these acrylic flow paintings. I forget what they are called, but I used to do them all the time. Like 2-3 years ago, this was my main form of artwork. It is literally what I did for every single painting, but honestly it was just getting really messy, so I kind of stopped for a few years, but I brought it back for this market just because they're really easy to make and they look really cool. So it's a kind of thing that you can kind of make a lot of, if that makes sense. Like with the gouache paintings, even though they're small, still each piece took an hour or two. With this, each piece maybe takes 10 minutes tops, right? So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
If you guys have never done or have never seen these acrylic pour paintings, basically it starts by taking some acrylic paint and just pouring it in a cup, which as you can see, I'm struggling with it. I also decided to paint some white onto the canvas just because it makes it a little easier for the paint to spread out. But yeah, here I am putting on the paint. I did this blue, orange, and purple color palette, which might seem a bit strange, but honestly, I love color palettes similar to this so much. I don't know why, they're very pretty. But yeah, basically now I'm just going through trying to get the painting to drip a bit more, spread out. In time-lapse you can like actually see it moving, but very slowly. So yeah, I just go through, use my little paint spatula, that's not called a spatula, painting knife, maybe, adding a bit more paint around the edges just to basically get it to flow and to have a more natural look to it. Just like any artwork, I just keep adjusting it and editing it until I'm happy with the result. As a bit of a throwback to earlier in this video when I was talking about wasting paper, I decided to use the scraps from the paper and make sort of like bookmarks from it. So I basically took the paper, just like put it in that little like palette thing you saw earlier in the video, which had all of the leftover acrylic paint from the pours. Another thing about these acrylic pours is they waste a lot of paint, and yeah, I just created a little bookmark from it. I'm pretty much done with all of the painting, and the next thing I had to do was print out these Polaroids. So obviously I first started by choosing some digital artworks I liked, and then I went onto this app. I'll show the app on the screen, and basically printed them off, which once again, that's with the printer I showed earlier. So just as you see, it just pops right out, and like any sort of like Polaroid, you just take it, maybe shake it, just let it sit for a few minutes, and then it'll eventually develop to create a cool artwork. As previously mentioned, one of my many hobbies with art is creating pins. This little machine, along with a bunch of supplies that I basically use to create my own pin back button. I first start by removing the little blue pieces from the machine and instead adding in these little white parts. This is what's going to allow me to basically like cut up the paper into the circles and the size necessary for the pins. After struggling with that for a while, I then press down, which creates this little dent on the paper. Obviously, this process is very rushed, so if you guys would like to see like a full-on video explanation of how I create pins and the whole— oops, there goes my camera— of how I create pins in this whole process, please let me know in the comments down below. And I am struggling a lot with this camera, but it is fine. Alright, so then the next thing I do is I put those little blue parts back in, and I add in this little metal circle bit, which is going to be part of the back of the pin. And then I add in this little circle piece of plastic mylar, and it is ready to begin forming. So I push it down with that little 3 combo there, and I push it back out, and as you can see, the paper, plastic, and little metal bit is going to be up in that little spot up there. I then add in the last part, which is the actual pin part of the pin, slide it in, squish it, and now you should have a fully made pin. Anyways, that has been all of the processes for these mini artworks, and I will show you guys some pics right now of the actual market plus the finished artworks. Only just now realizing that I never actually showed you guys any finished work, so apologies for that, but here you go. So this is the stand that I had, and my friend was being supportive and helping me out. Photos are missing something since they were taken like an hour or so into the market, but here are the final acrylic paintings. I think they turned out genuinely so beautiful. I made 6 in total, and unfortunately only the green one that you guys will see coming up sold. They all cost $8 a piece, and to be honest, I'm not that mad that they didn't really sell because I think they all turned out really nice, and I'm fine to keep them for my own decor or possibly to regift. Next up are my bookmarks, and once again, this photo is a bit lacking, but I made 7 of these in total, and I originally did just have the paper and the paint on its own. But afterwards, I felt they were a little too plain, and it just felt kind of cheap to sell them like that, so I actually punched a hole in them, added some tassels, and bam, you have some really cool homemade bookmarks. These were actually quite popular. I sold quite a bit of them. I believe I only had 2 left over, and they were both the most rushed and, in my opinion, ugliest bookmarks, so that doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest. Next up were the gouache paintings, and these were 100% my most popular item. I sold the ones without a frame for $5, and then I sold the ones with a frame for $8, and unfortunately, Unfortunately, I don't have too many photos of these. I just have the ones that you see on screen, and then I have a couple of the framed ones, plus this one photo from a friend who bought one. Thank you for your purchase. Your support is greatly appreciated. Next up, we have the Polaroids, and these were the second least popular item. I think I only sold like 2 or 3 of these, but once again, I think they all turned out pretty cute, so I'm not too upset that I get to keep them. Plus, I will admit, the quality of them didn't turn out that great. For some reason, just like the coloration on these photos did not turn out that great. Alright, and last but definitely not least, I have my pins. So I sold these for $2.50 a piece, or if you bought 3, you would get them for $5. My cheapest item, and that's just because they were the cheapest to like make. But yeah, since I think they were so cheap, people were willing to buy them, and also people love pins. I love pins. They're cute, they're fun to put on a bag, and unlike the Polaroids, the digital art actually looks pretty nice. Everyone, and that is the end of this video. And you guys are probably confused as to why the beginning of this video looks very similar to what I used to do video-wise, and why the end of this now looks very similar to the new stuff I've been doing. Basically, I filmed, edited, and recorded this whole video prior to when I decided to make a bunch of changes, but I'm finishing after I've made a bunch of changes, so it's this weird like in between I'm trying to deal with, where part of it I've got new stuff, part of it I've got old stuff. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the best explanation you're getting. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button with the post notification bell so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. Anyways, remember to stay weird, and I'll see you guys next time.